2 new Pokemon sets, Black Bolt and White Flare, is just around the corner. I know, it seems just madness. Didn't even seem that long ago that we had Distant Rivals, and now we got 2 sets coming out, and they've announced even more sets. Pokemon needs to chill, right? They need to chill. They really do. However, I must admit, my initial thoughts about a black and white set was a bit mixed. I was a bit like, it's not my favorite generation. It's probably one of my lower down favorites, actually, least favorite generations. And I kind of felt like it was weird that we're closing off the Scarlet and Violet era with black and white. But then they said, hang on a minute, we are going to release these 2 sets side by side. Okay, it's a little bit different. But we're going to have all the Pokemon have illustration rares. Now that caught my attention. It'd be really interesting to see how things are going to go ahead with both the sets, really. And at the moment, it's looking like Black Bolt is going to be the more fan favorite set, if it, more popular set, as it were, from pre-order prices and hype and whatever. There was bound to be one that was better than the other. But today we're looking at TCG Player. We're going through everything that we need to know about Black Bolt and White Flare. I need to know, because I might open up some packs if I can try and get hold of some. So it's going to be interesting. So yeah, let's find out. So we're on TCG Player. Everything we know about Black Bolt and White Flare. Of course, it comes out in July. It's going to be pretty interesting. So let's get into this. Anyway, it says we started things off by riding the coattails of the other popular evolutions in Prismatic. Then we transitioned into revisiting of owner Pokemon and Joe together. And then we kept that bond center stage against the infamous Team Rocket through Destined Rivals. The trend is about to continue as we make our way back to the Unova region for 2 sets. Yeah. Okay. So, as you can see, this is the Pokemon Center exclusives. I think it's Pokemon Center exclusives. I hope so. Anyway, 2 different ETBs. Black Bolt's going to be more expensive than White Flare. No booster boxes. I kind of feel like they should have released it as maybe as a booster box set, or even, I don't know, like ETBs, but split in half. So it's still one set, but like one mega set. Let's split it half and half. Like all the packs are a mixture rather than two different sets. It kind of feels a bit weird, but anyway. Now in Japan, it was actually quite popular. A lot of people have opened up a lot of this set already. I must admit, some of the artworks do look incredible, and the pour seem to be pretty decent in the Japanese set. Well, I should hope so, because there's so many illustration rares. The thing is, because it's a specialty set here, the pour rate's going to be really good, right? Pour rates from Prismatic were really, really bad. Pour rates, Palette and Fates were pretty good. And it's just like, are we going to get like Crown Zenith levels? Could you imagine Crown Zenith levels? We get all those hits. It would be actually impressive, right? If that was the case. If that was it, we have to wait and see, of course. That would make this set very fun to open. So we can see some of the special illustration rares that are up for grabs there. So it says, when does it release? So it comes out on the 18th of July. So which is literally like 2 weeks away, pretty much. You're going to get a whole bunch of different products, booster bundles, ETBs, collection boxes, tins, you name it. There's a whole bunch. I have yet to pre-order anything from this set at all. So it's going to be interesting to see how things are going. I'm a bit skeptic. Yeah, I'm a little bit skeptical with this set. I'm going to have to wait and see how things go. But it says, which Pokemon are in Black Bolt and White Flare? So it says the official Pokemon page has for each set over 170 cards, 65 illustration rares, 5 special illustration rares, and 5, more than 5, Pokemon EXs. So a crap ton of illustration rares that we had in this set. We had Prismatic, which didn't have any, and just had loads and loads of special illustration rares, and it was miserable to open. Whereas these 2 sets are going to have a ton of illustration rares. I like it. I do like it. I think that's pretty good. And it said that would match the contents of the Japanese sets. While the full set hasn't been confirmed yet, the region-locked nature of this set makes it easy to anticipate what we'll see inside. And the thing is you're going to have it split. I think I've seen already there's certain, like the starter Pokemon are split between 2 different sets, and so on and so forth, which is, pretty interesting. And it says, here are some of the fan favorites that you're going to be seeing. Look out for in the Black Bolt White Flare. And it gives you a lot of the big fan favorites, pretty much a lot of the legendary Pokemon, a lot of the starter Pokemon, and so on and so forth. And it's like, what are the big chase cards? Of course, we're getting these really cool looking different rarities, which is kind of interesting. And it's these like black and white variants of the Zekrom and Reshiram. I mean, in Japanese, they're fetching a pretty high price, and there's a red one as well, which is a bit teeny. And I think it's going to be pretty good. I think they're going to be very difficult to get hold of, and they do look very, very nice, very, very different as well. And then, of course, you've got a lot of big fan favorites, but a lot of special illustration rares. and so on and so forth. For me, my chase card out of both sets is the Kyurem. I'm not too sure which set it's going to be in yet, but that is my favorite. Although these three, all three of them look absolutely like really, really nice and really, really impressive. But I think that pull rates are going to decide how well this, this set will go, in my opinion. So, but yeah, I think that, like, in all honesty, it is a pretty cool set. Well, sets, I guess, as a combo. And I think there's going to be a lot of good playable cards in here and so on and so forth. It's going to be really interesting to see. I mean, personally, I like the idea of the illustration rares. That, to me, is selling it. If we take a look at White Flare to begin with. So, White Flare ETBs. Currently, we're looking at pre-order prices at $115. That's $114. That is pretty pricey, in my opinion. It did actually drop to around about $100, and then it went all the way up to $130, and it's trickled back down again. I mean, people were buying it when it was $200 in ETB. This is just for the regular version. This isn't the Pokemon Center version or anything like that. Is this overpriced? Hell yeah, it is. And I think I heard, I think one of them's delayed. I don't know which one's delayed, but I heard rumors that one of the two is delayed. And I also heard that they're printing less of this set, releasing less of this set to begin with, because they're focusing on reprints for other sets. I mean, look, I would have preferred if they just completely missed these two sets for this summer and just focus on reprints, but hey ho, there we go. But yeah, I would expect a lot of these to fall in price when more hits the shelves. And of course, the Pokemon Center version is going to be pretty pricey at $350. That's always a tricky one. That one's like, it's interesting to see how things will go. And then we also have different products. We've got the booster bundles. We don't have a price that yet. No, is there no price? Okay, so we've got booster bundles. There's 10 of them coming through. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. We've got booster bundles. We've got regular packs. Like here, take a look, right? Regular pack, $15. Don't overpay that. Don't pay that price. That's ridiculous. That's like 3 times MSRP. Like, yeah, it's just one of these things. It's kind of bizarre. And I mean, like I said, I haven't pre-ordered any. I think White Flare is going to be the cheapest one out of the two. So let's take a look at Black Bolt, which is going to be the more popular one. So there we go. Look, normal ETB Black Bolt, $123. So about $10 more than the White Flare one. It was bound to happen. You're bound to get a favorite out of the two. Maybe there's better cards that people want and so on and so forth. But look, I think for me now, it's like, if I can get hold of them at MSRP, then I will. But over MSRP, especially for a set that's not even out yet, always even this early, it's just not really worth it, guys. I just don't think it's worth it at all. So let's take a look at this. We've got all these different mini tins. Obviously, the price is not really up there at the moment. And then we had the booster packs there. Black Bolt, look at that, $16 a pack. Don't pay that, guys. Do not. Just don't even try paying that price. That is redonkulous. I mean, like I said, I'm happy to pay maybe like £60 in ETB, which is basically retail, right? Retail I think is 55. So, £5 more, not a problem. I think any more than that, it's just ridiculous. It really is. I actually quite like the look of a lot of cards in this set as well, especially the illustration rares. If you look on Pokédale.io for the value of the White Flare set to give you an idea of the Japanese version, right? So we can get a little glimpse of what are the big chase cards from each of the sets going into the English version. And with Japanese at the moment, a lot of them have been having good value, from Gloria Team Rocket, Heatwave Arena, stuff like that. A lot of them have been doing well, although Japan are on it with the reprints. They really are. Unlike the English ones, Japan are actually good. So we have here the Reshiram, biggest card in the set, $300. I mean, the overall value of the set is over 1k. For a Japanese set, that's actually really good. Like, that's insanely good. So yeah, you've got that white Reshiram there, which I think looks really, really clean, at $308. You've got the special illustration rare at $193, and then there's a huge drop, right? Massive drop after that. And we're looking at $30 there for Hydreigon and so on and so forth. And as you can see, there's so many cool illustration rares in the set, and even in Japanese, a lot of them fetch over $5, which is actually pretty big deal, right? These were 20 booster pack boxes. So they weren't like your standard 30 pack boxes that you would normally get. This was similar on the same levels as like 151, for example, which had 20 packs in per box. And on top of that, you did have Pokeballs and Master Balls and all sorts of different craziness going on in each of the sets. So yeah, overall for White Flare, not bad at over $1,000. Let me look at Black Bolt. Okay, so Black Bolt was nearly 1.3k. Big jump. Huge jump. We look at this one. We got the Zekrom coming in at $312. You got the SIR version coming in at just under 200. And then Ends Plot is another card that's holding pretty good value at over $110, which is huge, right? It's massive. Trader cards tend to do quite well in Japanese, although in English, that trend's kind of continued to some extent. And then on top of that, you got the Kyrim, which is my chase card out of the two sets by far. And again, you're getting a lot of amazing looking illustration rares. And again, a lot of them holding over $5, which in Japanese is a big, big deal, guys. So yeah, huge money to be had between the two of them, right? 1.3k in value, 1k in value. And these are sets which are being ripped open like absolutely crazy right now. And it's going to be interesting to see. Like Black Bolt by far is going to be the more superior set to White Flare, just because it's got better cards that people want in it. But yeah, I think both of them are going to be very, very good. When we jump back across to TCG Play, we can see the Black Bolt booster box, the Japanese version, right? Look at this. It is falling like crazy. It's $93, right? And it was $115, which is, to be honest, way overcosted. I mean, here in the UK, I was seeing these come out roughly around about £100 a booster box, maybe a little bit more. And they have fallen a little bit, maybe by like 10 to 15%. But in my opinion, I still think it's way too expensive. Part of me is like, maybe 50 to potentially 60 is okay. But I think other than that, it's just ridiculous. And Black Bolt is the better performing one as well. You know, when we look at White Flare, we're looking at $90 for White Flare. Pretty much was the same price. And we're now looking at, around about 90. And I think it needs to be a little bit cheaper than that. But the thing is like Japan are on it with the printing, right? They are on it. With the English version, I think we're going to be in a little bit of an interesting place. So my thoughts and opinions on Black Bolt White Flare, right? Everything I need to know. I like the idea of a lot of illustration rares. I think that's really cool. There being two different sets at the same time, I think it could be okay. All depends on the pull rates, in all honesty. There's bound to be one better than the other, and it looks like Black Bolt is better than White Flare. And then on top of that, I like the introduction of these new rarities they're bringing in with that Reshiram, the Victini, and of course the Zekrom, which looks absolutely incredible. And then finally, with these, I kind of feel like they should have just hold fire, right? They should have just left this set, wait, reprint a load of stuff from the Scarlet and Violet era, and then release this towards the end of the year. But they didn't. They want to keep that gravy train going. I just think they need to get on top of it, right? Japan, it seems weird that not only Japan bring out more sets in a year than English, because they split a lot of their sets to make smaller sets and more product, more boxes, rather than combining it together to make an English set. So they release more sets in a year, but they also keep on top of the reprints. It's like, why doesn't the English version do that, right? Why do they not carry on what they're doing and then just reprint more, just like what Japanese is doing? I think Black Bolt White Flare in Japanese will fall. I think the Black Bolt White Flare for the ETBs here could hold somewhat of their value. So we're looking roughly around about 70-ish pounds in ETB. I know it's more than retail, and I know it's not like the most exciting set. I mean, not for me anyway. I know that some people really are looking forward to it. But for me, I'm like, do I really want to be paying that type of money to either keep sealed or to even just crack open packs and so on and so forth? No, I'm not really going out of my way to try and get hold of Black Bolt White Flare. But I think it'll be a fun set to open. All really does depend on those pull rates. But guys, let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comment. Which set do you prefer? Do you prefer Black Bolt? Do you prefer White Flare? And how do you think things will go in English? And have you pre-ordered any? I mean, like I said, I managed to get hold of the Pokemon Center ETBs on the Pokemon Center website. I think I managed to pick up a booster bundle of each. But apart from that, I haven't probably ordered any. I haven't got any ETBs coming. I've got just literally diddly squat. But I might look at picking up some. I am looking at picking up some. It's just getting my head around a good price that I can find. And I completely skipped this in Japanese because the booster boxes, in my opinion, were way too expensive for what I was wanting to pay for this set, which is just not £100 plus, right? It needs to come down. Everything needs to come down. But right now, I don't think things are slowing down. I think Pokemon are just ramping things up. And it's going to be really, really difficult to kind of go back and enjoy some of the older sets that came out. I'm going to say older sets. Some of these sets aren't even a year old, but it feels like they've been out ages. and they just keep going up in price. So it's an interesting one, but I think July 18th is going to be a big day. I think there's going to be a lot of people that will dive straight in. I wouldn't be surprised if we see White Flare drop even further and Black Bolt maintain its dominance, as it were, regarding the price. But that's it from me, guys, in today's video. For more Pokemon content, make sure to click the video on the screen, and of course make sure to hit the subscribe button. And as always, thank you so much for watching. You guys are legends, and I'll see you next one.